We've had a couple of questions. Influence Control he wants some business advice, basically. You know, I think this is interesting.
No, I'm joking.
So they've had a business and it's failed and they're starting again. Now,
right.
I think that's not a bad thing.
No, listen. I always think I don't like the word foul. If something's not worked, it just means you have to choose a different direction. It doesn't mean you've failed, as long as you've learned from what didn't work and you don't repeat the same mistake. So I think it's really important. It doesn't really matter whether you've opened a grocery store, whether you're going to go and sell pet clothes, whatever it is. Fundamentally, businesses all run the same way.
Yeah.
So what did go wrong? It's about in the preparation, I think. I mean, I've been asked this quite a lot. What should I do in lockdown? Well, my advice is do your research.
Yeah.
Prepare. Put a good business plan together. And I know it's the most boring thing in the world. You don't have to be, you don't have to be a professional at making a business plan. A business plan is getting all your information down, all your research, where you want to be going, all your costings. It doesn't matter it's in a perfect format. You can get a bit of help with that.
There is no perfect format, really, isn't
No, well, I mean, sometimes it depends if you're going to go to the bank for money and stuff like that. You might need a little bit of help. But there are grants out there, and that's the other thing. People are like, well, what about if I've got no money? So I said use that time wisely. But the most important thing is something has not worked for whatever reason. Learn from it. Also, the other key for me is, and I've tried stuff over the years, but I think where I'm clever enough, and I would say clever enough, is that if something is not working, address it and you stop. Do not keep putting your money into something that is not working. We did this.
I did it probably.
Well, Joe did it. It's something I didn't want to invest into with Joe, but we did. So without going too much into it.
I'll go into it.
No, well, I'm just saying, but it was a business.
It was a restaurant.
We were supposed to just invest the money. Yeah. It turned out that the people that we invested into couldn't deliver what they said. And I'm a bit of a control freak. Yeah. So I ended up taking over. And it caused a lot of arguments, actually, probably the most between Joe and I, because we disagreed. Anyway, Joe was away 1 week doing some business.
And you shut it.
And when it came back, I said, I've closed it. But basically, because it isn't working, and we're not quite as that, but what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But do you know what I was going to say? Everything you just said, research, preparation, I did none of that.
No, you didn't,
right?
No. You just took someone's word.
I dived in, not just someone's word. It isn't just the people, it's the industry.
Yeah, it is.
We know nothing about food, right? That is a very difficult industry, right?
Yeah.
I thought, we've got gyms, healthy food restaurant, I'll be able to smash it into the gyms.
Yeah.
That's not the case, because if your product's not good enough, the people are not good enough, you've got to be on food, right? Now, I've learned a number of lessons from that. My preparation, I did no planning, no financial guides. I didn't look at other industries. Yeah. I looked at nothing. I didn't even check the people that I did it with. And then I did check halfway through, and then I realised everything I was told was wrong. Yeah. That's not their fault, right? That's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I'm responsible for my actions, right? Not theirs. So, so that was my fault. So we lost 60, 70 grand. Doing
probably,
that,
yeah.
right? In a year.
But could have been a lot more.
She shut it, and she done.
And you didn't want to, did you?
Because you don't want to fail, do you? But I think looking back now, she did the right thing, because it was stressful, and it took 90% of my time up, and it was making no money.
Well, you're losing money.
You're losing money, and it was.
So don't be scared of that. But I mean, that kind of went off a little bit. But what I'm saying is, don't be afraid if something does not work to either stop it and redirect redirect it. Doesn't mean you have to stop completely, but look at what's not working. What part of it's not working? Can you make it work in a different way? Or do you need to start again from scratch? So going back to that. So if you've had something that failed, learn from it. What did fail? What can you do better? Know what you're talking about. Whether it's a product, know your product, know your industry before you start as well as you can. Doesn't mean you have to be a chef, but you do need to understand rather than just think. I think I don't believe it's failure. I think it's just a change in direction, and many billionaires many billionaires have been bankrupt. Yeah. So if you research many people, and you do have to have an element, and probably I'm a little bit more of a risk taker than Joe, actually, interestingly, even though we've just talked about that. I think there has to be an element of risk to any business, or you would never try it. If you wanted to just stay safe, you'd go and work as a teacher or something like that, where you know you're going to get paid at the end of each week. So every business comes with risk. Now, I've been in an industry for a lot of years that, has seen crashes, has many ups and downs. We've now had Corona. My industry's been tough over the years. But to be a good business person, you have to roll with the good and the bad, and be adaptable to change. So if you're going to run a business, be able to change with things that change. So that's kind of my tip.
It's also
anyway.
Making decisions is important, and that's
very tough.
Some tough decisions. You're not bad at that, are you?
It's probably what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And not everybody likes it. And it's, what? Do you know how hard it is? Like, Joe kind of is always the nice guy. And we say this. He's like, where his sort of business was a little bit different before, he could afford to be everybody's friend. And it's great to be that person. But most industries, unlike football, are not like that. So for me, and again, and it doesn't matter to me, because I don't feel like I have to be a boy, like try and be like a man just because I work in a man's industry.
No, you don't.
I can just I've always just been myself. But you have to make tough decisions, and sometimes people don't like it, and you may offend people. But, if you're going to continue to run a successful business, tough decisions sometimes have to be made.
You have to think of your business as a baby, really, I suppose. And what do you need to do sometimes to keep that baby alive? Whether that, or especially if it's successful. But no, I think what Nicole's saying about cutting the cord if it's not working is so hard, because you don't want to tell people you failed, you don't want to see it, you've thought about it, you've worked at it, but
you
at the
said
end of the
how
day,
will it look, wouldn't it, to the brand? I was like,
but actually it was the right thing to do, and I'm pleased. But I think what Nicole was saying before about starting a business at the moment or anything, you don't need money to start a business. I mean, what I hear from a lot of people is, I need an office. No, you don't.
No, I started mine. I didn't have an office.
You don't need flash offices.
No.
You don't, right? You can have that when you've made it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean because you've got flash offices your business is going to work. It just means you're sitting in a fucking nice room with no money in the bank.
Well, I started mine from my dining room.
Yeah.
And my youngest daughter, just before she was born, so as a baby, and literally, mind you, when she started to toddle around, she spent the first part of her life with a little little kid's mobile phone and a pen and paper where she'd followed me around. So no, you don't. Joe's right. You can do stuff. People will get so caught up in, I need to get an office, I need to get this. Obviously, if you're opening a shop, you clearly.
It's different then,
But again, you can start that online now. The world is amazingly accessible, isn't it?
I mean, you can do it. Most people now can create their own websites if they need to. You don't need a lot of skills to do it on these websites.
Well, our daughter, my middle one, who's at university, is she's obviously doing fashion business at uni, and she's quite quirky, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's quite a cool kid. I keep saying, she's laughing at that. So we've been talking. She wants to start her own brand. And so I've been saying, well, look, you can start that already while you're at university, and because obviously she's learning stuff all the time. So she's going to be in the process of doing that, which I'm really excited to see how she gets on over the next couple of years. We're growing that. And obviously I'll help her as much as possible. But it's good to do it yourself, and you want it to be your own thing.